Right folks, and welcome back. So I'm just going to do a review of the off-grid solar system and some of the components and discuss a project that's coming up. We're looking at building our own inverter. It's not as crazy as it sounds, it's quite a common thing. It's just a basic mechanical electrical engineering project. But I'll just do a review of the system and how we're getting on now. It's been commissioned about 2.5 months. Right, so anybody that's the first time here, we've been off-grid at this property for 13 years now. We had a small off-grid solar system on a 12-volt system initially. About 7 years ago, we upgraded to a 24-volt system with forklift batteries, which worked perfectly for years, and a Chinese inverter, one of these all-in-one modern inverters. It worked fine for a number of years. The inverter didn't like charging the batteries, so we had to buy one of these blue solar charge controllers to get the solar panels to charge properly. And this led to this new system. So this new system, I've been building it for about 4 years. We've got 44 solar panels at the moment, so we've got 12.6 kilowatt of solar. They're going through 4 different charge controllers, and we've got 3 inverters here. Now, you'll see the kit's a mixture of second-hand Victron and second-hand Outback equipment. I've got to say I prefer the Victron just now. It's just personal preference. You'll see I'm using old-fashioned Victron equipment. The newer solar charge controllers, I believe they're made in China, and they're in a moulded box, and you can't fix them. You cannot take them apart. These old ones, there's big screws on the boxes. You can take them apart, have them repaired. You know, this is the route we've gone along with this system. Keep it simple, stupid. Now, this inverter, this is a power jack inverter. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of people just seem prejudiced because it is, I think it's made in Taiwan. People think it's a Chinese inverter. I've got to say I quite like it. It says U-Power on it, but that's who that's who sells it. But it's actually it's a power jack inverter. Now I like it. It works well. Quite a few people on the flooded lead acid, you know, the forklift battery group on Facebook, they're using these power jack inverters over in America. They're quite simple when you take them apart. The only issue I've come across with this is that the cooling fan is really noisy. When it's been running for a while, or when you're running a big load, the cooling fan cuts in for 2 minutes on a timer and it sounds like a bloody jet engine. Apart from that, it's perfect, no issues so far, loads of power. What can I say? I've took it apart when I fitted it on the wall. It all looks quite simple. I've watched a few YouTube videos about these power jack inverters, and it seems like you can take them apart and fix them yourself. I'm not knocking the older Victrons, they're similar, nice, you know, big coils in them. The same with the Outback, and this is why we've gone with this older kit. Again, the modern Victron equipment, which are now all-in-one inverters, has gone down the Chinese route, and I just think they're a throwaway inverter in this day and age, whereas these older ones, you'll see that's even been dropped, it's been bashed, and it still works. So what's the project? Well, there's a fella, he does a bit on Facebook, and he did a few videos years ago. He's an older fella now called Leslie Bryan. So he's done a book about the OS inverter. He's also done some books about how to build a wind turbine. Now, I'll just say he didn't invent the OS inverter, so I think he does credit it in here. So this OS inverter is the result of people on a forum, on an online forum called the Oztules, Oztules. So you'll find that forum, and it's people making their own inverters in Australia for the Outback, where it's an inverter that they can make using simple PCB components, winding their own coils, parts that you can buy from any electrical wholesaler, parts you can buy off eBay, Amazon, and you knock together your own inverter. But by making your own inverter, you understand how to test it, how to fix it when it goes wrong. And this is the biggest problem I come across, is people contact me and say, I've had an off-grid solar system fitted and it's gone wrong, it doesn't work, my batteries are dead, the batteries won't charge, and people have paid somebody a lot of money to have a system installed and they just don't understand how to fix it or how it works. Right, so yeah, as I was saying, you know, the way I think about things is that there's no point having something if you can't fix it. There does seem to be a problem generally that there's a lot of people getting solar fitted just on domestic properties, solar, battery, inverters, and there's very few people at the moment out there going around servicing and fixing this sort of kit. And this is something I found out. I bought a load of second-hand solar panels and we fitted on this shed roof, and they didn't work. The solar panels were fine, but it's just bad connections, and it took a lot of time with the multimeter, testing connections, cutting them out, replacing MC4 connectors. And the time it took me, especially if I'd had to pay somebody £35 an hour to do that, I would have been cheaper buying new solar panels. So I've just bought some more solar panels for the other shed to AC couple. So we're going to be using a grid-tied inverter to AC couple back to this system. So this brings me onto this Oz inverter. So it's basically, he's made a book basically on how to build your own inverter. And this inverter, so it's an 8 kilowatt inverter, 15 kilowatt surge, and you basically buy the PCB boards, you get them printed, solder your MOSFETs together, make your own toroid. And with this you can do AC coupling, so you can basically back charge off a grid-tied inverter and charge the batteries or power up the AC side and use the surplus electric via diversion for heating hot water or electric central heating or something. So it's quite a detailed book. Now, there's not many people I've spoke to that are making these inverters, but there is one person on one of the Facebook groups, and what I believe he's doing is he's ripping apart an old inverter and basically using the good parts and putting them into his own boards and his own inverter and his own casing. So he's basically using one of these Chinese inverters, so it shows you how to do it all, using one of these Chinese inverters to basically make a better inverter. Now, there was a suggestion on the OzTools forum that the older Oz inverters were actually these PCBs out of the U-Power, the Power Jack inverter. I've asked Leslie Bryan about that and he says they're totally different. It's nothing to do with these inverters, the parts are different. Only time will tell. I will take this apart and have a good look. So we will be building our own inverter. I don't know when. We're going to have to gather parts together or decide whether, you know, maybe we take the Outback inverter apart. There's a lot of components in that. Maybe we take this apart. I don't know. At the moment, the system's up and running. It's running well, but we just need to change things to be able to AC couple. So, yeah, interesting book. If anybody wants to help me make an inverter, shout, drop us a comment, send us a message. I'm not very good at soldering or electronics, but I get by. I fix my own stuff. I'm generally able to fix stuff. Look, he's even got the amendments in it. How to make it, drill your holes, fans. So if anybody's got any comments, anybody thinks this is a crazy idea, you know, I'm not particularly doing this to save money, I'm doing this for reliability, and so I know how to fix it. Be easy to buy one of these Chinese all-in-one inverters, but when they break, and nobody knows how to fix them. So let us know what you think in the comments below. So if you haven't done already, drop us a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, drop us a comment, let us know what you think about building your own inverter, let us know what you think of the off-grid solar system. The total cost of this system here was £8,000, and we've got 12.6 kilowatt of solar. We've got 22 kilowatt of battery storage, so I think that was cheap. We've not used the diesel generator since we connected this. We used it for about 4 hours on the first day to give the batteries a boost through a forklift charger there. But since the batteries have been full 24 hours a day. We're producing power in the middle of the night off these panels, so not too sure how that works, but the panels are producing and keeping the batteries full all the time.